So Dan, the Tonys have become a TV show, but how did the Tonys actually get started?
Well, it was in 1949, and they named it after a celebrated theater person, Antoinette Perry. But they had been going on a lot longer than that, really since the early 1800s.
Because stage plays, there was no TV, there was no film.
Right, and this was only in America, as we know, like Shakespeare, and even before that, it goes back forever. But in commercial theater, which Broadway is commercial theater, it started about in 1949. The awards did.
Yeah. It's so funny to watch like the old movies, because in the beginning they just basically kind of transferred from stage into TV, right?
Yeah,
or into film,
sure.
And they'd be like, "Well, hello there, Dan. How are you?" And they would like yell at each other.
And it's really broad.
Yeah.
Really broad.
Because that's what you had to do on stage, so that people could hear you in the back row, right?
Well, and on stage, you're supposed to broadcast to the back row, and they tell you when you're in film that you're supposed to only think the thought, not like broadcast it to the back row.
It took them a minute to figure it out and go, "Oh, we don't have to talk that way." On
right.
TV.
It can be more natural.
Yeah. Very few people can say that they've ever been nominated for a Tony, and you are one of them.
I am. That was the best Tony Awards I had ever gone to.
Yeah, I bet.
It was really magical, and I got to bring my parents, and we sat there at Radio City, and they called your name, and I didn't win, but
what was it for?
It was for Xanadu. I did the choreography for Xanadu in 2008. And it was wonderful. All these stars around and coming up and talking to my parents, and it was great.
How did you find out you were nominated? That's when your parents were like going, "Okay, he's good. We're glad he did this." Yeah.
No, actually, I really lucked out on the parent thing, as they supported me all along the way, and I found out because my dad called me at 7:30 in the morning, and those who know me know that I'm a better morning person than I used to be. That I really wasn't a morning person. I got woken up and I'm just not functioning. And my dad said, "You're nominated for a Tony." And I said, "But the awards aren't out till 8:30." And they go, "It got dropped early. I found it on a website." So that's how I found out.
Who votes?
It's a big assortment of people. The main body of people, though, voting for the Tonys are road presenters, which the Hobby Center has a member that is, but we also at Theater Under the Stars, I'm a member that gets to vote. And it's a consortium of different things: union professionals, playwrights, composers, lyricists, but then also producers, which are the road presenters.
So folks throughout the business there.
Yes, about 850 voters.
All right. What are your favorite shows on Broadway right now?
Okay, well,
Angels in America, one of them?
Angels in America was incredible with Andrew Garfield and Nathan Lane. I loved The Band's Visit, which is a new musical that was produced by some Houston natives, actually, who invested and produced.
And that's how it happens, right?
That's how it happens.
Also, Three Tall Women.
Three Tall Women with Glenda Jackson and Laurie Metcalf was incredible. Literally one of the top 10 plays that I've seen in forever.
Yeah, those were all nominated, but of course we know Hamilton.
I love Hamilton. It's really one of my all-time favorites. So I have to put that on there.
Yeah.
And then Bette Midler's coming back in Hello, Dolly, and that really was, that's like a joy machine.
Yeah.
You go and your face hurts from smiling so much.
We've seen something happen in theater that kind of, there's all the classics for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's things that we're familiar with, but they've hit the stage instead of the big screen or whatever. So we got Mean Girls, which has 12 nominations.
Mean Girls was fun too. Yeah, really great. Performances were great. The book was funny. And it's also really at that time too, that we're talking about the hashtag Me Too moment, and the empowerment that they're giving to these young girls are great. And the lead girl who was nominated is a dear friend of mine who I worked with in summer stock, actually.
Yeah,
so.
but I love what you said, because that's what theater's meant to do. It entertains, but it also teaches great lessons.
Yeah.
All right, so SpongeBob SquarePants.
Now, you would think it's one thing. It's, children's theater.
Right.
But it actually is kind of an adult thing. They talk about the stakes in the show are about the apocalypse coming and how they have to save Bikini Bottom from the apocalypse.
Which is interesting. When you watch SpongeBob SquarePants as the cartoon, it really has has like an adult humor to it as well, right?
Isn't that fun when it works on both levels?
Yes. All right. And then sometimes my son actually gets it and I don't. And I'm like, oh, okay. Carousel.
Carousel. That's also one of my all-time favorite musicals ever. Really lovely production.
Okay, you have some best musicals out there because theater's divided into different categories, right? The Band's Visit, Frozen, Mean Girls, SpongeBob SquarePants, so that's in the musical category.
Yes.
And then for best play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Harry Potter. And also, again, you think it's going to be one thing, as we always do with these Harry Potter books and movies, but they actually work on two levels. And I love when theater does that, that it's something that kids can understand as well as adults, and it resonates with both parties. And there's a lot of magic in it that's very spectacular.
Love that. The Children, Farinelli and the King, Junk, Latin History for Morons.
He was hilarious. Me too. He's so funny and original. And that's something that I love about the Tony Awards is they try to celebrate these folks who are singular, you know, they're unique.
But it seems like it's much more diverse than what I saw growing up, right?
Oh gosh, yes. It has. I mean, well, our country has changed so much, and so Broadway and theater in general have to reflect that.
Yeah, all right. And it brings more people, I think, to the stage, right? Okay, so the host this year, we have Josh Groban and Sarah Bareilles. And so the mood of the whole thing always can be impacted by who the hosts are. And this is going to be an interesting couple here.
Yes, the host. It's the most important job.
The hostess with the mostest,
right? They have to be attractive and funny and smart and gregarious. And so I think they're hoping that that's going to happen with them.
Well, the great thing, again, with the Tonys being broadcast, again, it reminds people, I think there are a lot of people who just kind of go by their day-to-day and they forget that we have such a fantastic theater district right here in Houston. Yeah, we have things coming up at Tuts. You've got Guys and Dolls.
We have a great production of Guys and Dolls that's coming that is Hispanic-influenced Guys and Dolls, where the majority of the cast are Hispanic actors and performers from Broadway and from all over the country, and it's really incredible the energy that they're bringing to the show.
Yeah, again, taking those classics and then putting a new twist on it.
Yes, and that's really what we're all about at Theater Under the Stars, is looking at these classics with a new lens, with a more modern way of looking at it, so that people who don't know these shows can they have an into them and they'll fall in love with them, like I know that you and I both love them.
You moved here from New York City, and of course people think New York, it is the mecca for theater, but that's not to say that we don't have just as good theater right here in Houston. In fact, right over our shoulders over here.
It's right there. You have to come down and see us.
Yeah, and it's all back up and running after Harvey?
All back up and running, yeah. It's really vibrant. And now the Wortham is going to be back online in September. It's going to be really, really incredible year next year for our 50th, too.
That's right. You're celebrating a big anniversary there.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll have you back, Dan, to talk about how we're going to celebrate that 50th. All right.
Party.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Tony Awards honoring Broadway's best air Sunday night right here on KHOU 11. And you can catch Guys and Dolls presented by Theater Under the Stars at the Hobby Center June 12th through the 24th. We have a link to tickets on our site, greatdayhouston.com.